Hello everyone, and welcome to Capitol Watch for Friday, May 1st, our weekly look at the Missouri General Assembly. And joining us from our governmental relations offices in Jefferson City is our Associate Executive Director for Advocacy and our Chief Lobbyist, Mike Reed. And Mike, the big issue this week was the conference committee meeting to try to hash out differences on the bill related to the student transfer fix. So where do we stand on that?
Yes, House Bill 42, the conference committee met several times. They are finishing up and preparing the conference committee report. It should be filed on Monday. The bill has a lot of interesting parts, many of which we don't agree with. The bill is not, in the end, a bill dealing with student transfers. It's a bill dealing with the expansion of charter schools and the expansion of virtual schools. A bill that started out in the House with the greatest of intentions to make sure that the students in unaccredited districts were being served, and making sure that those districts would not go bankrupt, and to put parameters on where payments should go and how they should go, etc., has morphed into a bill that doesn't even appear to even look like that. So the bill has expansion of charter schools in both Jackson and St. Louis County and Jackson County, Missouri. In St. Louis County, it's every school district. In Jackson County, Missouri, it's every school district that has more than 3,000 students. So it cuts out just a couple. It expands virtual schools into those same areas. It also has, in metropolitan and urban school districts, it has buildings that are accreditation by building at the building level, which means the urban districts, that's Kansas City, Columbia, Springfield, St. Joseph, those districts, they will have accreditation by building level. And if in fact a building is unaccredited, even though the district is accredited, students in the unaccredited building can transfer to any other building in the district. If all of the district seats are full, then those students can transfer to another district outside of the accredited district. So there's some great ramifications of this piece of legislation. There's some there's a formula on how much money students, districts can charge for transfer students, or it's recommended how much money districts can charge for transfer students, as well as numerous other pieces. We will have a full description of the bill as soon as the bill comes out of the committee, and we will send that to all of our members through, and it's a bill that needs to be, at this point, it needs to be voted against. It is not, we don't believe it's in the best interest of kids. This is about educating children in unaccredited districts. That's where we need to make sure that the focus is, and to make sure that those children in unaccredited districts have the ability to get a proper education, a paid for proper education, and the district isn't bankrupt. And this bill exceeds that and changed that completely.
So Mike, at this point, as you mentioned, we would be against the conference committee report as we understand it. So our members, should they be contacting legislators on this?
Yes, they should be contacting their representatives and their senators and say to vote against this. To go back to the, if they want a bill, go back to the original House bill. The original House bill, as it came out of the Missouri House of Representatives, House Bill 42, was a good piece of legislation. This is morphed into a piece of legislation that it's an expansion of charter schools. We're not against charter schools. We are against charter schools. We want to make sure charter schools are well run and well maintained and well managed, and what we're for is students, and we're for students getting the best possible education they can have in the state of Missouri. So this is not that. We believe that our members should contact their representatives and senators to vote against this piece of legislation.
And Mike, we're at the point here toward the end of the legislative session where we tend to have what are known as omnibus bills pop up, where we have lots of other bills tacked on to a bill that appears to be moving. And we have one of those now related to education, don't we?
Yes, there was a little education bill that was moving through the House and ended up and has just about every education bill on it. There's the bullying bill, there's the civics education bill, there's the making sure the students have the proper foundation before they go to college. I think there are at least 7 bills attached to the bill as it came out of the House committee. That's this time of year. The Christmas tree bill's up, and that seems to be the way that things are going. So this time of year is very important for people to keep listening to what we say and watching their emails, because this morning we may be in favor of a piece of legislation. By afternoon we may be against it, because it may have gotten some amendments on it that just make it not palatable to us.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned the civics education issue, Mike, and earlier we thought perhaps that issue was dead, but again, at this time of year, issues are never dead, are they? So it seems to be coming back.
That's exactly right. The House bill was heard in the Senate committee a couple of weeks ago. The Senate committee voted not to pass it. This last Wednesday, they reconsidered their vote. They voted to pass the civics education bill, so now it's on the Senate calendar. So it's on the Senate calendar there. It is in a House bill or Senate bill that has some House amendments on it. So that piece of legislation does seem to be moving.
Mm-hmm. Also, Mike, another bill we've been watching, another issue we've been watching is anti-bullying legislation, and so we have a bill now in a conference committee, don't we?
Yes, Representative Allen's gave her a pass. Representative Allen's anti-bullying bill was perfected and passed by the Senate. It's now back into conference. We like many of the provisions in it. There may be a few words that need to be tweaked, but I think the bill has gotten to be much better. We appreciate the Senate, Senator Eric Schmidt's work on this piece of legislation and putting some language in that our staff drafted. It's a good piece of legislation. It's an unfortunate situation that we now have to worry about cyberbullying, but this is a new way to go. Bullying has always been with us. There's just more ways to bully right now, and it's time for the law to keep up with the way we are going in this country. Mm-hmm.
Another issue we've been following, Mike, is a bill related to changes in procedures for special education hearings in the state. Where does that bill stand right now?
Yes, that bill had a hearing in the House, and again, Senator Schmidt's bill, a very interesting hearing, a lot of good discussion. That bill still has some problems, and we are still trying to work on the language with it. With only 2 weeks left, it does not appear that bill has enough time to get through, but then again, everything can move very quickly. That bill has not come out of committee, so the time is getting short. It may not pass this year, but it will be a chance for us to work on that piece of legislation over the summer to make sure that to make it right and to have everybody on board with it.
Mike, as you mentioned, 2 weeks left in the session now. A lot happens in the final 2 weeks always, so again, it's important for our members to keep up to date, and again, we'll be providing updates very rapidly, I'm sure, during the next 2 weeks on legislation that might be moving.
Well, yes, we have updates every morning, and we will be having e-blasts as soon as anything happens, and it's very important that our members contact their representatives and senators when they get these e-blasts, because they will be voting on them very shortly after we send out the notice. This is the time of year that things move quickly, and we appreciate all of our members being on top of it and helping us out to making sure to let legislators know that their actions in Jefferson City are being watched and how they affect the people at home.
All right, Mike Reed, as always, thanks very much for being with us. And as Mike mentioned, we will be keeping you up to date here during the final 2 weeks. Please pay attention to your emails regarding our Legislative Voice newsletter and our critical issue alerts as needed. We will be sending those to you. Thanks a lot for joining us on this edition of MSBA's Capitol Watch.